Today our topic is the role of self-control in Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live a good life by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. One of the most important ideas in Stoicism is self-control. Self-control is not just about saying no to things we want but don't need. It is about mastering our emotions, our desires, and our reactions to the world around us. The Stoics believe that self-control is the key to freedom, peace, and happiness. When we have self-control, we are not ruled by our impulses or by what happens to us. Instead, we become the masters of our own lives. The Stoics teach us that life is full of challenges. We will face pain, loss, disappointment, and failure. These things are unavoidable. But what we can control is how we respond to them. Self-control helps us respond with calmness and wisdom, even in difficult situations. For example, if someone insults us, we can choose to get angry and shout back, or we can choose to stay calm and not let their words affect us. The Stoics say that the second choice is better because it keeps our mind clear and our heart at peace. Self-control is not about suppressing our feelings, but about choosing how to act on them. It is about being strong enough to do what is right, even when it is hard. One of the most famous Stoic philosophers, Epictetus, said that we should focus only on what is within our power. He said, "Some things are in our control, and some things are not. Things like our thoughts, our actions, and our choices are in our control. But things like the weather, other people's opinions, and the past are not in our control. Trying to control what is outside our power only leads to frustration and unhappiness. But when we focus on what we can control, we find inner peace." Self-control is about directing our energy toward the things that matter and letting go of the things that don't. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic philosopher, was a Roman emperor who faced many challenges in his life. He wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This means that no matter what happens to us, we always have the power to choose how we think and how we act. Self-control is what gives us this power. It allows us to stay focused on our goals and values, even when life gets tough. For example, if we are trying to eat healthy but someone offers us a piece of cake, self-control helps us say no. It reminds us of our bigger goal to be healthy and strong. Self-control is not about depriving ourselves, but about staying true to what we really want in life. The Stoics also teach us that self-control is closely linked to virtue. Virtue means living a good and moral life. The Stoics believe that the highest good is to live virtuously. This means being honest, kind, brave, and wise. Self-control helps us live virtuously because it stops us from acting on our selfish desires or harmful impulses. For example, if we feel angry and want to hurt someone, self-control helps us stop and think before we act. It reminds us that hurting others is wrong and that we should act with kindness instead. Self-control is like a guard that protects our mind and helps us stay on the path of virtue. Another important Stoic idea is that self-control helps us deal with desire. The Stoics believe that many of our problems come from wanting things we don't have or can't get. For example, we might want more money, more fame, or more power. But these things are not in our control, and chasing after them only makes us unhappy. Self-control helps us let go of these desires and focus on what we already have. It teaches us to be content with what we have and to appreciate the simple things in life. The Stoics called this living in accordance with nature. This means accepting life as it is and finding joy in the present moment. Self-control also helps us deal with fear. Fear is a natural emotion, but it can often hold us back from living our best lives. The Stoics believed that fear comes from worrying about things that might happen in the future. But the future is not in our control, so worrying about it is pointless. Self-control helps us face our fears with courage and confidence. It reminds us that we can handle whatever life throws at us. For example, if we are afraid of failing at something, self-control helps us take the first step and try anyway. It reminds us that failure is not the end, but a chance to learn and grow. The Stoics also believe that self-control is a skill that we can develop over time. It is not something we are born with, but something we practice every day. One way to practice self-control is by setting small goals and sticking to them. For example, we can start by waking up early every day or by avoiding unhealthy snacks. As we meet these small goals, we build our confidence and our ability to control ourselves in bigger ways. Another way to practice self-control is by reflecting on our actions and decisions. At the end of each day, we can ask ourselves, did I act with self-control today? Did I stay true to my values and goals? This helps us learn from our mistakes and improve over time. The Stoics also teach us that self-control is not about being perfect. We will all have moments when we lose control and make mistakes. But the important thing is to learn from these moments and keep trying. The Stoics believed that every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. When we face a difficult situation, we can ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to become a better person? This mindset helps us turn every experience, good or bad, into a lesson in self-control. Finally, the Stoics believe that self-control leads to true freedom. When we are not controlled by our desires, our emotions, or the opinions of others, we are free to live as we choose. We are free to focus on what really matters, our values, our relationships, and our inner peace. Self-control is not about limiting ourselves, but about freeing ourselves from the things that hold us back. It is about living a life of purpose and meaning, no matter what happens around us. In conclusion, self-control is one of the most important ideas in Stoicism. It helps us stay calm and wise in the face of challenges. It helps us live virtuously, and it helps us find true freedom and happiness. Self-control is not always easy, but it is always worth it. As the Stoics teach us, the more we practice self-control, the stronger and wiser we become. So let us strive to master ourselves, to focus on what we can control, and to live a life of peace, virtue, and freedom.